is, all right, dude, 12 years. This is, honestly, it's pretty surreal to like sit down and talk about it, because I don't ever really sit down and take time to like look back on stuff. It's like, what's the next thing? So I'm just gonna start ripping on stuff, like where it started, where we're going, and everything in between. I'm stoked for it. It started, really put like pen to paper in 2012 is when I really had the idea like, oh, there should be a company, a clothing company that embodies everything that's awesome about the Northwest. Because growing up skating and camping, like there was nothing, I couldn't find anything that was just really cool. So I just decided to do it myself. And that started with just sketching, literally pen to paper. I've actually kept all those drawings that launched the idea then was like, let's launch on Kickstarter. So we launched a Kickstarter campaign to say, like, is this like a viable option as a business? I knew nothing about business. I went to school for graphic design. I was working as a graphic designer. It was great though. I loved my job. I was doing graphic design and videography, motion graphics for like really big clients like Nickelodeon and AT&T. I got to travel around. I got to go to Barcelona multiple times and go skateboard while I was working. It was really a dream come true. And being a working professional designer, I knew I could do it. I knew I can design this stuff. So we launched on Kickstarter. That got funded in like 24 hours. And I was like, whoa, okay, like this could be a thing. Like game on, let's go. Like this is exciting. And then for 2 years, really, I did both. I did the Great PNW on the side, and I worked. And what was wild is even while working and doing this kind of like part-time, like before and after work, we got into REI, which is pretty wild. Like they contacted us, and it was funny because I was so busy at the time. I missed the email for like a few days. And so that was a pretty big win early on. But even then, so, you know, we were still small. I was still running out of my basement and the garage. Like we literally shipped the first REI orders from my house, which is super wild. And from there, I built an office and a small little shipping warehouse, like 600 square feet there at my house. And we did that for like another 2 years. But yeah, that was a wild time to be like this really weird middle ground of like, we weren't big enough to like, I was doing it full time. I didn't leave my job, but I wasn't like big enough to where we were renting a facility or anything. And that was like a huge goal for me. It was like, I want like my own space. And once that happened, yeah, it was like game on from that. It was so exciting. Once we signed the lease on our first space, like that's really when I felt like, oh, I made it. Even though I was doing it full time, that was my full-time job. That's when I was to the moon excited. Sadly, right as we moved in there, I was actually hit by a car, my motorcycle, which was wild. Was in a coma for 4 days, had to relearn to walk. But now, like my livelihood, like I'm a designer, I had to be at the office. It was a wild time. And we just moved in, we just painted the place. All this excitement kind of steamrolled by like an insane accident, you know, tons of rehab, you know, months, I mean years, truly years. And so it was just like this excitement to like, okay, reality check. But it was fun. Great. Thank God I had some really great employees. They kept things going in my absence. That was like, those are the types of things that kind of build you who you are today. So like, I'm super not thankful it happened, but like it's part of the story. It was a weird, exciting time. All that said, here we are. We're in the new space. We're rocking and rolling. I'm able to hire friends, more friends to do like shipping. They're doing photo, they're doing video, so we're allowing them to thrive and do what they love to do. And I actually have like some help. It's not just like me anymore, and I get to work in a team environment. That's where I really thrive, and that's where we really did our best work. You know, and from there, like I just saw like we were growing, and then randomly. Like we bought a piece of land. It's where we are now. And I knew that was going to be the future home of the Great PNW. And that was a huge undertaking because now it's like, oh, we're going to build from scratch. And at the same time, like over that period of time, like I have 3 kids, so that's how much time has passed. We're probably 6 years in at this point. And all my kids have ever known is Dad, the entrepreneur. And so they knew, you know, the old office space, and now we're building an office. So to see them walk through the construction side of like what is going to be our new facility, and really it's like this dream come true to be able to do this. And we built from the ground up. Now we've expanded. It is 12,000 square feet. We have our own printing facility next door. That's like Bison Printing. So everything is under one roof. We have the full photo studio in the back. You know, we have a gym, we have a mini ramp. It's everything is like a childhood dream. You know, it's like all the things I've ever wanted as a creative, as growing up skateboarding. Like, this is what I've wanted. So where it's like I wake up every day, I'm like, I'm super stoked to go to work and like work with the people I get to work with and do the things we get to do. And that's one of the wildest things, is all the things that have come from just like this little clothing brand. And like all the collabs we've done over the years, like Rainier Beer has become such an amazing partner, and the friendships that have been built through that, to where now we do, you know, these huge parties with them, and we throw a golf tournament, and like those collections are some of the funnest things we do every single year, and our customers love it. You know, so we have from Rainier to, we've done like a wake surfer with O'Brien. Like when they reached out and wanted to do that, like that's an awesome fun project. The Seattle Seahawks, like when they reached out, that was one that was like, whoa, this is awesome. But I also like wasn't surprised by it. I was like, well, of course, we've established ourselves as like the premier Northwest clothing company. And we've put in a ton of work. Our team is extremely talented, and we've done that consistently year after year after year. So when we got the call from the Seattle Seahawks, like that was cool. I mean, to be down on the field, you know, doing these photo shoot, video shoot, it was crazy. You know, like my son got to see himself over the big screen during a game it was wild. You know, like those are things you don't anticipate, you know, as a business owner, like giving those to your children, build these amazing memories. And it's because I was a graphic designer. I decided to go to school for graphic design because that's what I love to do. So yeah, I mean, what we've been able to do from this like facility in Spokane, and how much impact we've been able to have with the community and with employees and with their families, and what we're able to do, like that is the most fulfilling thing to come to work every day to do, let alone like I just love my job, you know. And so when I think about what we've built here and how special it is, and that's also why we put a flagship store in Spokane. Like that's a huge risk. We sell to tons of stores around the Northwest, but to have our own, like that was like a big undertaking, especially, you know, from a creative standpoint. Like I'm not an interior designer by any means, you know, so to like ideate on like what's this store gonna look like, it's gotta feel and it's gotta smell, like it's gotta be so tangible. That's like, this is the brand in real life. It's not selling online. Like it's a big deal. So like to build that out was extremely scary. It was really hard, but it is absolutely beautiful. And like we hope when people go there, it's overly inspiring. And like that's what we want. We want the brand to feel like home. You know, if you, whether you're from here or you love it here, or you can just totally resonate with the positive vibes, the outdoors, that everything that inspiring that comes from this brand, like alone from like the product. Does the brand inspire you? You know, that's really what we want. And that's what's cool too, is as the brand has evolved and grown, so has our product offering. Yes, we've had some really big wins, like to be in REI, to be in Zoomies, to be in Dick's Sporting Goods. Those are like big box stores that were like I never really dreamed of. But it's like the cool, the mom and pop, smaller shops that like we love. We love that they sell our brand. We love that they align with us. All of our customers online, the customers that come into our flagship store in Spokane, like we absolutely love that. But with that, as those have evolved, so have the products, and like that's what gets really fun, is like we're able to design out like outerwear, jackets, vests, bags, flannels, all these things like I didn't dream of in 2012 when I'm sketching. You know, 2013 we launched the company. Those weren't like thoughts in my head that I'm like, gonna be a clothing designer. Like how exciting is that? God, I'm stoked. And to be able to bring those to people, you know, man, before I forget, I mean, our Smokey Bear collection, like how fun is that to align with an 80-year-old brand that's so nostalgic, so core to America, you know, and we get to align with them and create products for a Smokey Bear brand. Like, that's amazing. So we've had so many amazing wins, and it really goes to the effort of like our team, the consistency, the hard work, and just the absolute talent that just oozes out of this building, you know. And it's so fun to see all the random things we get to do. Like we've wrapped like multiple golf carts and, you know, a few different vehicles, and like with the golf tournament, like that's just like a big party. Like how do we, and oh, I guess we have the Boulevard race, like not free, like that's where we're really trying to invest in Spokane. And with Hoop Fest, how did I forget the Hoop Fest collaboration? Like we've done that for like 5 or 6 years now. Like it is so fun. Hoop Fest is the biggest 3-on-3 tournament in the world. Like we get to design a whole collection of clothing for them. Like it's so beautiful to be able to do that for the community, and it's so fun. So all those things with the collaboration that the brand has been able to do over the years, you know, then lead into all the stuff we've been filming this year, like these behind the brand videos, because I realized we've been doing this stuff like over a decade, and we haven't really like shown anybody like the behind the scenes. They just kind of get the final product, and that's where there's so much fun energy that happens here. Like, how do we show that to people? You know, how do we show people all the cool, fun stuff and like the genuine love that comes out of this building? You know, with all that said, like I'm so excited for where we're going as a company. So I think 2012, when I started my first sketches, we really launched the brand in 2013. So coming up on our 12-year anniversary, like it's pretty wild to look back at all the things we've done and like where we're going with all the new products. Like from a brand standpoint, from a product standpoint, you know, the products they're fun. They are super fun to design. All the marketing, all the emails, all that stuff. It's truly a blast to design, and we hope we're doing right by them. That they're like, yes, I would gladly wave that flag. Like, so we absolutely love you guys. We love the customers. Extremely excited for all the things we have moving forward. And yeah, man, I guess that's pretty much like 12 years condensed into like, you know, a quick conversation. So I love it, man. I hope you guys love it. And cheers.